In the 1960s, psychedelics were associated with counterculture, protest movements, and underground therapy. In 2026, they're in phase 3 clinical trials. There are publicly traded biotech companies trying to turn psilocybin, the active compound of magic mushrooms, into FDA-approved prescription medicine. But the real question is this the beginning of a psychiatric breakthrough, or just another biotech cash-burning bubble? In today's video, we're going to break down the science, business model, and investment risk of these companies. So why do these markets exist? Depression affects hundreds of millions of people globally. A significant percentage suffer from treatment-resistant depression, meaning traditional antidepressants don't work. SSRIs can take weeks to work. They require daily dosing and are ineffective for some patients. Psilocybin works differently. It primarily activates the 5-HT2A serotonin receptor, temporarily disrupting rigid neural patterns. In controlled settings, studies suggest it can promote rapid increases in neuroplasticity, which means, instead of slowly adjusting mood over months, it may help reset certain depressive patterns in a matter of days. That potential, rapid, durable antidepressant effect is what's driving billions of biotech funding. So how does psychedelic drug development actually work? Important clarification, these companies are not selling mushrooms. They're developing synthetic, pharmaceutical-grade psilocybin under FDA supervision. The process looks like any other drug development cycle. Preclinical testing, 3 phases of trials, and then FDA review. And here's the key challenge. Psilocybin is a naturally occurring compound, and you can't patent nature. So companies build intellectual property around synthetic processes, delivery systems, treatment protocols, and modified analog compounds. That IP structure is critical for investors, as it allows the companies to have a competitive advantage and exclusive rights. Let's look at some of the major companies trying to make this happen. The first one is Compass Pathways. Compass Pathways is set to be the first psilocybin biotech company to get FDA approval. Their lead candidate, COMP360, is a pill form of psilocybin. Patients take this product under medical supervision, with sessions lasting as long as the standard mushroom trip of 4 to 6 hours. The model isn't just to prescribe these to patients. It's a structured protocol whereby patients undergo pre-session screening and preparation, a dosing session under medical supervision, and post-session therapy. The entire process is closer to a procedure rather than a take-one tablet daily product like SSRIs. Following positive phase 3 trial results, COMP360 hopes to apply for FDA approval in late 2026. With Trump's order to expedite the FDA review process, COMP360 could potentially get FDA approval in 2027. The next company we're going to look at is Cybin Inc., also known as Big Pharma. Cybin is working on a modified psilocybin experience with their pill product, Cyb3. Cyb3 is a deuterated psilocybin analog, which basically means that it has altered chemistry that provides a more predictable and shorter duration experience. But why does that matter? If a psilocybin session lasts about 4 to 6 hours, that means clinician time, room occupancy, and monitoring staff, all of which result in a very high cost per session. Cyb3 lasts approximately 2 to 4 hours, which is great because if you could shorten the duration, you could drive down the costs and create a more scalable and affordable model. Cyb3 is currently undergoing phase 3 trials and is expected to report results in Q4 of 2026. If they're lucky enough for everything to go well in clinical trials, Cyb3 could potentially reach FDA approval sometime in 2028 or 2029. The last company we're going to look at is Atai Beckley. With their product ELE-101, Atai isn't focused on classic psilocybin. They're developing synthetic psilocin, the active compound that psilocybin converts into in the body. Instead of delivering psilocybin and waiting for the body to convert it, they deliver the active molecule directly to patients through an IV. Why is that potentially more effective? Because administering psilocin directly can offer faster onset, predictability, shorter duration, and a total session time of 2 hours. And again, with shorter duration, they'd be able to drive down costs and serve more people. With their product ELE-101, their strategy isn't to provide a 6-hour guided mushroom journey. It's to make the process efficient and cost-effective. ELE-101 is currently in phase 2 trials. It's too soon to tell when it could potentially receive FDA approval, especially since Trump's order only speeds up the FDA review process and not the actual clinical trials. But if everything goes well, they might be able to get FDA approval sometime in 2029 or 2030. Now we get to the real issue. Even if these drugs are clinically effective, can they be scaled profitably? Here are the constraints. Patients can't just take this at home. Most current protocols require controlled clinical environments, psychological screening, and monitoring during the session. That makes it closer to an outpatient procedure than a pharmacy script, which is way more involved and expensive. Will insurers pay for a 6-hour supervised therapy session, 2 clinicians in the room, and therapy integration follow-ups? If not, this becomes a boutique treatment for rich people, which limits the market and the total amount of people they could serve. Even if the FDA approves it, psilocybin is currently Schedule 1. Approval would likely trigger rescheduling, but that process involves the DEA. Federal reform and FDA drug approval are separate mechanisms, and each process takes a lot of time. Psilocybin therapy is legal in Colorado and Oregon, but it could take a while for the other states to adopt it. So in essence, working through all the bureaucracy and regulations may take some time and slow down the growth of the industry. The core compound of these products is a naturally occurring substance with a long history of public use. This makes it difficult to get solid intellectual property protection. Companies often rely on patents related to things such as specific formulations, synthetic processes, or methods of administration, which means that a company with their own spin on psilocybin can easily enter the market and disrupt it. So are these companies good investments? This sector behaves like venture capital inside public markets, meaning many companies will fail, but there'll be a few winners that'll do really well. First, let's go over some of the positive signs of the industry. These companies have backing of institutional money. Peter Thiel, the venture capitalist and founder of PayPal and Palantir, is one of Atai Beckley's largest investors. A lot of these companies develop other psychedelic medicines as well. One of Atai Beckley's leading candidate products is BPL-3, which is a 5-MeO DMT nasal spray. So with some of these companies, you're not just betting on the success of psilocybin therapy. The approval of these therapies has the full support of key political leaders. President Trump signed an executive order to expedite the FDA review of psychedelics. Normal review takes approximately 6 to 10 months. This executive order could potentially reduce that to 1 to 2 months. And aside from faster review, this order also gives the entire industry confidence and momentum. Psychedelic medicine stocks shot up once the order was signed. Investors are now more confident that FDA approval will happen. Some more catalysts for these stocks to increase are positive trial results, FDA approval, and success of their products in the market once they're approved. But just like a person taking mushrooms, some of these companies could have a bad trip. Here are some key realities to consider. For one, a lot of drugs may not receive FDA approval. They may have poor trial results or get abandoned by their companies. Cash burn is also really high. These companies can't generate any revenue until their products are approved, so they're constantly burning through cash to support their research. Dilution risk is constant. Since these companies are constantly using up their cash, they're always looking to raise capital by issuing more stock. When they issue more stock, they increase their stock supply, which drives down the stock price. Timelines are also very long. Each phase of clinical trials could take 2 to 3 years, so in essence, these are definitely long plays. And most importantly, stock valuations are dependent on binary outcomes like trial results. A positive trial result could dramatically increase the stock price. A failed trial could cause the stock to go to zero. Even with positive trial results, these companies could be set back by the FDA or the government. In 2024, the FDA voted to reject the approval of Lykos Therapeutics' MDMA product. Although Lykos isn't a publicly traded company, this news forced Lykos to cut 75% of its workforce and cause a sell-off of the entire psychedelic sector. Needless to say, investing in any psychedelic medicine company has its risks. With that said, it's up to you to determine if you think psilocybin therapy is the way of the future and if its companies are a good investment. We are witnessing a cultural shift. Stigma around psychedelic-assisted therapy is declining. Academic institutions are studying it seriously, mainstream psychiatry is becoming more open, and it now has the full support of key political leaders. But cultural momentum does not guarantee that these companies will be successful. All in all, the science is promising, early clinical data is encouraging, the need in mental health treatment is massive, but the business model remains unproven at scale. Whether these companies succeed, that depends on their execution. but the psychedelic medicine industry as a whole is poised for large growth.